Hi, it's New Year's Eve here in the area of Kirkbride near Lichfield, and I'm sitting with our son Jerome's fiance Fiona. It's her grandparents, um, Ron and Maria. I've asked them if I can interview them because over a period of many years, Ron has been losing his sight, and that has meant they've uh, big changes in the way they approach life. So, Ron, perhaps I could ask you first. When did you start to lose your sight?
Well, I lost the sight in one eye completely at 18 years of age in the military, and the other one, so they believe now, could have been affected by that accident. And over the years, between 18 and 80, my sight has gradually gone. Now, I had absolutely no problem with only having one good eye at the age of 18, and I adapted very, very quickly. But it caused a life ambition change uh, because I was no longer able to fly. And eventually, of course, I came to be uh, demobbed, and on asking the demobbed medical officer, "Oh, what about my eye?" "Oh," he said, "king and country, lad, king and country." And that's all I got. But I accepted that, and here we are at the age of 87, and over the last 5, 6 years or so, the sight has gone very poor. I am not completely blind, and light plays an awful big part in what I can distinguish to help me through the day. Um, the first thing one has to learn when you get to this stage is that you have to slow down. Everything must go at a much, much slower pace, because if you don't, you'll land up on the floor, and that can do some more damage. And so life in general for the two of us has gone very, very slowly for the last few years.
Can I just bring in Maria at that point to ask you um, how, what effect has it had on you? What age was Ronnie when you met him?
Well, Ron was 24 and I was 23 when we got married. We had known each other about 12 months. Yes.
And so, what effect it has Ron's increasing blindness over the last few years
Yeah.
had on you?
Well, in the last year, it has made a big change. I used to go and help a lot at church with various things. On a Monday, we did a Monday lunch for old people, and I was helping every Monday for about between 80 and 90 people. It was hard work, it took all day. Apart from that, I did a lot of flower arranging, and I had a class at the church, and I had to give it up because I had to look after Ron. Yes, it has made a big difference to my life. I haven't been able to do as much entertaining as I used to do because he needs help with dressing and undressing, finding his clothes to put on, and because he's so slow, I'm happier when he sits down at the table and I'll serve him. And apart from that, I help him by taking him to all his appointments, because I'm the only driver now, and that's almost every week, either 1 or 2 appointments, and sometimes we've even had 3 in
Okay.
one day. And so yes, it has made a big change to my life.
Okay. And Ron, what has been some of the easiest and also the, if you like, well, what's been initially, what has been the most challenging parts of adjusting to severe blindness?
Well, we live in the country, and have always lived in the country, and I'm a countryman, and I have always enjoyed the pastimes and responsibilities of a countryman. And as a farmer, I have been a very, very busy and progressive man. And I have created various businesses, which for total four businesses I run, and still run them with a little extra office help. Some from the family and some from other qualified people. But our life together has taken on a totally different dimension. Instead of it being, Ron, can you go here? Ron, can you bring me that? Ron, when you go to town, will you get me this? And will you do that? And what are we doing here? And where are we going there? I've always been the driver from the day we met. And we've always been financially privileged to have a good car. And we've spent many hours on the road together over our 64 years of married life, which of course has all now changed. And Maria has her own car, and she has to do all the driving, and so it's really is. Although she doesn't dislike driving, it's an added burden, and so there we are now. It has meant that things that used to take an hour now take 3 or even a little more, because I have to slow down. So life is a totally different dimension, but you have to learn to, one of the big things is learning to accept what has happened, and under no way get angry.
Perhaps you can think of something to ask us
But-
that's different.
But if you do, you will be no good to yourself or anybody else. Nobody will want you if you're angry. So my idea is that every morning I get up and I say to myself, well, today, it's not going to get me today. Tomorrow might be another day, but today, no, it's not getting me. And so I have jobs to do, which I get on with as best I can. And what I can't do, I have to get help with. And what I can do, I do. And just at this time of the year, I'm looking forward to the snowdrops and the bluebells and getting outside in the garden and my walks in the countryside. And so we are. But there are many questions you can ask yourself. And the worst one is why? But there we are.
Okay.
If it's not the faculty that you would prefer to lose, but that's life.